So, Shankar, I would love to go deeper in the global diversification perspective. You're talking about diversifying across 5, 10 different markets, but most of, Indian equity investors would be majorly exposed to India market or at max the US market. Talking about different countries and markets is not even on everyone's top of mind, right? So, how does one think about macro, find opportunities globally, and even start looking at which countries are exciting to invest in?
So I'll tell you my journey, and
Sure.
if that can mean anything to the viewers, they can derive or divine anything from it. But in I got into this business in 1989 and actually 1990 when I quit my job at Citibank, and I was just 26 at that time, and nobody used to leave Citibank uh, because that was the job
Yeah.
in the
Highly coveted.
highly coveted, and you're living the high life, and staying in Cuff Parade, and you had a car all at 25, 26 in India of that time to get a car, to have a Cuff Parade, Chamari shared accommodation. I said, no, no, no. I mean, I need to be in the ring itself rather than be outside the ring. And I was very bullish on India's prospects as an equity market. And I said, I can be investment banking. I can be an investment banker. I'll become vice president. I will be transferred abroad. I'll live the expat life. But that's not going to make me seriously rich. It'll make me averagely rich. And it's not going to be that exciting. I found it quite boring, to be honest. When I got into it, and the next 5, 10 years were amazing for India. India opened up in 91. And by 98, 99, everything, India tech was booming. But we got restless. I got restless in two ways. One, the Asian crisis happened in 98, when perfectly good countries went virtually bankrupt overnight. It was a huge moment of truth. And I remember saying, damn, this could happen to India, and all our money is in India, all our assets are in India, all our business is in India. Suppose our rupee at that time, whatever, 15, 18, goes to 80, 100. What could happen to us? We are like literally in penury compared to the rest of the world. We need to diversify the business. It's too India centric. And second was an intellectual curiosity that, look, we have understood Bajaj Auto or HDFC Bank and Gujarat Ambuja Cement and Apollo Tires, all the companies of that, Infosys. अभी यार for the next 20, 30 years अब यही सब 5, 10, 15 कंपनी करेंगे. It's too boring, man. I
A
mean,
lot of people have done that, only focus on buying those companies.
yeah, but I found it very boring. It's too
You
boring.
had global ambitions.
I just I just want to learn new things. That's simple as that. I mean, I'm very restless from a knowledge perspective. And I said if the knowledge and the business go hand in hand, why not?
Yeah.
And that's where that journey of global investing and thinking started. So we became members of the London Stock Exchange in 99. We became members of the NASDAQ in 2000. We were the first Indian company until date, I think the only Indian company to be a member of the LSE. And I remember going to RBI to ask for permission to set up a subsidiary, and they said, we cannot allow a broker to become open a wholly owned subsidiary. There was no provision in the Indian laws for a brokerage house to open an overseas office. Can you believe it? Just
How did you manage it then?
then, I mean, there's a very nice officer at RBI, and he said that, beta, I mean, son, I said, but sir, I want to do it. I mean, how can you say the laws are not going to allow me to do that? He said, you can be an NBFC. I said, I don't want to be an NBFC. I'm a brokerage firm. I'm licensed. I'm regulated. I want to open an overseas office. Then he said, okay, apply in the others category and, we'll make it happen. They were very supportive. Now, of course, they became a category after us. But
Yeah.
back then, it was like completely unknown territory. But once you ventured abroad, and then we set up a huge research team here, like 40, 50 member analyst team. We started covering global companies right from Japan, from Sony, right to AMD, to Intel, to Dell, to Amazon, to Apple, to the UK companies, the Barclays, the German companies, the Carrefours, all of those. And the diversity of coverage that we did, and we had global clients doing US equities, doing European equities, dealing through us based on our research. That was a matter of great pride that we're an Indian firm and we have created a footprint abroad. And Barron's wrote an article on us, on our research back in, I think, 2002 or 3, saying, calling our US research the most credible research on Wall Street.
Fantastic.
Can you believe that? I mean,
That's
and
amazing.
that's Barron's. I mean, that's like the Bible
Yeah.
of this business. That was so proud that you go into a developed market, you're a nobody, nobody's heard of you, and you create a name for yourself and thereby for your.
After your Amazon and Apple calls? Or?
It was during that.
Right.
So, but the one that Barron's referred to was our AMD call, which was, on semiconductors, where we made a call that AMD would outpace Intel, and that had worked out very well.
Only if you had held AMD till now.
It's okay. There are many in the middle. So, because of that, we just became very globally aware. And I can tell you, I have not had the occasion to regret that at all. I got fantastic investments, made a lot of money, but beyond that, the knowledge gained. And also because of knowledge, you also become more humble that you don't know.
Yeah.
When you're in one little pond, you think you know everything. But then when the pond opens, you say, man, I have no idea what's going to go on in this world. Become more humble, you become more acquisitive in terms of knowledge. It's been a tour de force for me. It was fantastic. And I would say that for anybody wanting to, do that, it's going to be intellectually very enriching, apart from financially very, enriching.
Yeah, absolutely. But you have to be a lifelong learner to be able to do that, right? Not many people, everyone dreams of having that, but I don't think many people have the appetite to actually put it in action.
Everybody wants to become rich, okay? Who doesn't? And I only ask them, how hard are you prepared to go at it? How hard? Are you prepared to go into a cave? Exclude everything from your life. Just focus on that single-minded pursuit of gaining that knowledge. If yes, it's fine. But if you're going to say, no, sir, I have to, wife के brother के भाई का भतीजे का भांजे की शादी और मैं 5 दिन जा रहा हूँ, तो sorry, it's not going to happen. Let's be clear about it. I was an avid cricket watcher. I had a lot of other interests, but in the 90s, I excluded all of that to just focus on this. So that's it. What's the price you're prepared to pay? Every profit has a cost attached to it. This is the cost.